This is the Leo Clamaco Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Leo Clamaco Podcast. Today's guest is an entrepreneur. He's a real estate boss and a coach. He's the CEO of Buy Your Keys, Leon Enterprise Inc., and Mr. Lion Movings. Pedro Leon. I love saying your name, bro. It's so powerful. It gives that umph. Welcome to the show.
Hey, first of all, I really appreciate you having me here.
It is my pleasure, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, where'd you grow up, how's your upbringing?
Absolutely. Well, I'm 33 years old. I'm from Ecuador. I was born in Cuenca, Ecuador.
I've been to Ecuador.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to Guayaquil twice. I've been to Montanita. I've been to Baño. I've been to, I love your country. Beautiful people, beautiful place. It's a great vibe.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, back to answering your question is I'm from Cuenca, Ecuador. My family migrated to the United States in 1997, August 5th, 1997. I was 7 years old. I was still young, and we landed in Queens, New York. Grew up in Queens, went elementary, junior high school, college, went to New York.
That's awesome.
And New York is the jungle, man. You learn a lot.
Concrete jungle, baby.
That's basically where, I learned everything I know. And in 2018, April 1st, 2018, moved to Orlando.
Okay.
After hitting rock bottom and starting from scratch. No one knew me. I didn't know anyone. Adapt or die,
Right.
pretty much.
You and I have very similar upbringings. I also came to the States when I was 7 years old. I came from Brazil. Also went to Queens, New York, went to the public school system. I love that. I love meeting people who have that immigrant passion, that fire, and they used it to fuel them, We allowed it to catapult us into creating something that, gave us a life that we never imagined.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can concur with that.
Yeah. So tell me, who was Pedro in high school?
Pedro in high school was a loyal, respectful guy. And I was also a womanizer
Okay.
in high school. Yes.
Give me some stories. How were you a womanizer? How many girls did you have?
So I'm a numbers guy.
Got
right?
it. Okay.
So to me, it was partying and bullshitting every fucking weekend. So that was my life. My brother and I, my older brother, which, by the way, he's the actual owner of Mr. Lion Moving.
Got it.
I am a silent partner behind it.
Okay.
But he's my brother.
Got it. Got
so
it.
blood brothers, just for the record, right? What we used to do is it was all about having fun. So what we did is the more girls we messaged, the odds of us getting dates for the weekend
Got it.
was going to increase.
Got it.
So that was what we wanted. We
You guys
wanted to
were
party. We
literally
wanted to have a
playing
good
the
time. We
numbers.
didn't really have a vision yet. It was just about having fun.
Got it.
So I hope that answers that.
100%. So when did you begin your entrepreneur journey? How did that happen? How did you go from partying and not having a vision to having a vision and being clear and executing?
That's a great question. So ever since I was a little kid, I knew I had something different and that something about me was different. I just moved differently. If the whole crowd went to the left, I wanted to go to the right first.
Right.
You know what I mean? I always wanted to be different. I didn't want to be like anyone else. I
Right.
do not idolize another man because I consider myself a leader. I respect other men for their accomplishments.
Right.
But I don't idolize another man. And I realized that at the beginning. So what that did is it caused, with inexperience, what it did, it caused some people to either you liked me or you hated me.
Right.
And that caused a lot of, a big clash, right?
Tension.
Yeah, tension, I would say. But I always wanted to run a company. I always enjoyed sales. I always enjoy negotiating, buying things low, selling it for a profit. Like, that's my kind of thing. Like, it made sense. Also,
Right.
I was a horrible employee. I was a very bad employee.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I had on my first job, right? Well, it was not my first job, but it was like a second job. It was like catering. And I don't know, you're from New York.
I know catering.
It was in Terrace on the Park.
I know Terrace on the Park. I've been there.
So I got hired, hired, and we were serving people and stuff like that, and the guys were like very tough, like the managers there who were well paid to manage the caterers and stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway, I sat down for a little bit because my leg hurt, and the guy came up to me and he screamed in my face, and he said something to me. I do not recall exactly what he said to me. But I just looked at his eye and I said, I quit. I'm like, this is not for me. Fuck this shit.
Right, I don't need this, yeah.
This is not for me. And I quit. And then after that, I kind of, I was in the streets a little bit, and being in the streets, you learn a lot of different things.
For sure.
Because you encounter...
There's a lot of good skills that you can learn on the streets.
Oh, entrepreneurship.
A lot, 100%.
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah, I entrepreneurship. So I was, I got involved with a lot of different things, and that just, positioned me to say, okay, like there's more information out there. Who has this intel?
Right.
What do I need to do? So I started doing research, and that's when I went into the conspiracy theories and who runs the world.
How old were you?
I was probably, when I was doing this, I was probably like 14 years old.
Oh, that young?
Yeah.
Got
14,
it. Okay.
15 years old, I already started. So I already started like looking into conspiracy theories and like I knew something was off.
Right.
And that's when I started learning about the Matrix and things started like making more sense to me.
Yeah,
so
opened up your mind.
So I sparked that passion of, we've been lied to. You know what I mean? Like everything I've learned, I have to unlearn again. Like, you know what I mean? I have to teach myself the right things.
Learn a whole new way.
A whole new way. A whole new way just didn't make sense to me.
Isn't that crazy?
It's insane.
It's fucking
it's
crazy.
just like, and I was just so passionate about learning that. And I couldn't say anything to just anyone because they didn't understand.
Right.
They just didn't understand what I was seeing.
Because you vibrate differently.
He was vibrating at a higher frequency.
Yep.
Everybody else is at a submissive frequency.
Yep.
Lower frequency.
Yep.
Lower vibrations. And I understood that very well. So then I got into human behavior, and then I started studying neuro-linguistic programming,
NLP.
and sales, and then I landed my first job, in mortgages. And I believe this was 2011.
Okay.
2011. So all the stockbrokers, I worked on Wall Street too for 2 years doing tax settlements. So, we used to...
How was that?
That was crazy. It was crazy. It was good. And then after that, I got into the mortgage business. So we started in New York. It was very popular to do loan modifications. Yep. Which had a lot of gray. There was a big gray area there.
For sure.
But I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Boiler Room.
Oh, of course.
I lived that.
Really?
I lived that.
What a great movie.
The guy was from Queens. The guy goes and he starts working in at a firm in Long Island. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And he just starts falling in love with, like, what is going on here? Like, all these guys are making money. And then, you start learning to turn your mouth into an AK-47. And once you start seeing that that's a better way to make money, then you just start falling in love with sales and negotiation and building rapport and understanding how to solve problems. So the more problems, the more problems you solve, the more money you make.
I love
The
how you
bigger the problem, the more money you make. So out there, you're just thinking every day, who has a problem I can fix?
Right.
Because some people just need you to think for them.
I love what you said, that you turned your mouth into an AK-47. And that probably went over a lot of people's heads. But that was such a powerful line, because that's what being a closer is. You know, you are always a closer. You are always shooting. You are always spitting. You are always looking for that next close. And that was insightful.
Yeah, so, you know, I've been through so much in my life, you know. Sometimes I even, just to think about it, I get emotional.
Yeah.
A lot of personal things too. But that just, it feels like, you know, my last name is Leon, and I'm a Leo.
Look at that.
And my favorite animal is the lion. So the lion took a lot of stabs in the back, over and over again. And they didn't kill me. So it gets to the point that when you have so many wounds, you become fearless.
Yep.
And nothing can stop you, only yourself. So that's what happened to me. And many different events happening. We can go on and on talking about specific events. But going back to the topic of falling in love with sales and human behavior and understanding gestures, movements, and understanding people.
Right.
Because we're in the people business.
100%.
I fell in love with that. And I realized that selling is helping. If you're selling and you're not helping, you're a scammer. Period.
Look at that. That's well said.
Yes.
Right, because you're trying to make it a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody has to win. If you're the only one winning and you're the only one benefiting,
Something's wrong.
it's a matter of time. It's a time bomb. You're a short-term player, not a long-term player. I'm a long-term player. I know a lot of short-term players, and I've been a short-term player. I don't want to be a short-term player. The wealth game is a long-term game.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
So how did you go from mortgages to buying your first property?
So that's a great question. So remember, my game is the wholesale game. I'm in the arbitrage game. Wholesaling real estate is not real estate investing. It's a sales and marketing business. That's it. Real estate investing is holding real estate and controlling the asset.
Right.
That's investing. Most people have that wrong. Wholesaling real estate is a sales and marketing business. That's it.
I misunderstood that a long time ago.
Yes, and a lot of people do. So the beautiful part about wholesaling, because I can talk about that, is that you can make millions of dollars doing this business. If you understand systems, processes, people, leadership, how to hire, how to fire the right people. And make sure, because what I do is I grab people that are smarter than I am, and I make sure they work together in harmony. Once I make sure that they can work together in harmony, an explosion happens. Call it the Big Bang. And
All that creativity.
all that creativity, a bunch of people working together in harmony with good leadership. That's very, very, very important. And that's what has worked for me. You see, to me, I'm not a wholesaler or a virtual wholesaler to be the biggest and baddest in town. If I wanted to be the biggest and baddest in town, I believe I can be. But that's not my goal. My goal is simple. I put about an hour a day in this business, right? Monday through Friday. So about 5 hours of hard work into the business, right? I work on the business and in the business.
Real quick though, it took you how long to get to this point where you only work an hour a day?
6 years. 6 years of getting punched in the face.
Of you making phone calls, of you
Dude,
going to see properties.
So if you want to go into that, we can go into that, no problem. So it started early, you know what I mean? I moved in 2018 with my partner, and
is that your brother or no?
That's not my brother.
Okay,
that's a childhood friend.
Got it.
Which he also has a very interesting story. We moved here in 2018, like I said, and what we did, we didn't know what to do, but we knew that there was a business called real estate wholesaling. And we saw guys younger than us making shit ton of money.
Yep.
So we said, that's where we need to be. That's where we need to be. But these guys were already like, 2, 3, 4 years in.
Which guys are you talking about?
There's a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of guys that we learned from. So, I started watching guys like Nick Reese, Sean Terry, and I even, and then, there's so many people. There's so many people that we were watching at the time. Guys like Rafael Vargas, guys like Carlos Reyes. Mm-hmm. And these guys were already killing it in the game.
Yeah,
and
I know both those guys. Yeah.
Yes, and I liked that, and I was like, I can do that, and but in my own way. You understand?
Right, for sure.
I respected them for what they did,
sure.
But I don't want to be them.
Right.
I want a specific thing that they know how to do, so I'm gonna go and learn that, and then I'm gonna do it in my own way.
Right.
Because I wanna create a business where it doesn't control me. I control it.
So how many homes have you wholesaled?
Right now, over 1,000.
Wow.
Over 1,000.
In 6 years.
Yeah. Because what
incredible.
happens is that at the beginning it's very hard because you don't have all the systems, the processes, and the people dialed in.
Right.
And people leave, people, do you wrong, people steal leads, people do this and that, and then you go through a whole phase of going through that. But it just makes you stronger if you don't quit. Mm. That's the smartest thing you could ever do. Do not quit. Just stick around. Even when times get hard, don't quit. Take breaks. And that's what we did. And then I built my company. I built a 7-figure company by myself.
You said take breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I built a 7-figure company in 2022, okay? And I was doing that with a small team.
How big? What's small? How big?
With less than 12.
Okay.
And that's counting cold callers and everything, Right now it's a much bigger team, but I merged with my partner. We merged. He built the company, I built my company, and then we merged because we realized...
Both wholesaling?
Yes. So Buyer Keys is my partner and I.
Got it.
So basically what we did is we complement each other's energies and genius. So he has what I don't have, and I have what he don't have. We're us working together, explosion.
That's great.
So yes. And
when did you guys come together?
So we came together in, I would say, we started by June of last year. We came together. And then me and him got together, and then...
What went into that decision making? What made you guys say, this is a good idea? Let's put our companies together.
That's a great question. So basically what I called him one day and I said, look, I got a private equity deal, because I had met a guy who basically was raising capital to buy private jets.
Okay.
Right? He was looking for a few $1 million to buy private jets, to buy them, to convert them into air ambulances and transport organs.
Very interesting.
Interesting, right?
Extremely.
It sounds
I've
insane.
never heard that
so
before.
guess what? I called up my who's my partner now. He's like, dude, I got the guy. He's out of South Florida. Put them together. They closed. We closed the deal. It was a private equity deal. We were gonna.
You guys wholesaled that deal, basically.
We didn't wholesale it. We were looking for a piece of equity.
Okay.
On the private equity transaction.
Got it.
He brought the venture capitalist. I brought the deal. They put it together. We both got cut out of the deal.
Wow.
And but we never got mad about it because we realized that was alignment. God wanted that to happen so that me and him could say, you know what? They just cut out the two people that put them together.
Correct.
Why excuse my language, why the fuck do we want to stay in business with these people? If they do this now,
correct.
Imagine when we're making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So he said, we laughed about it and we walked away.
Wow.
And in life, everything's a blessing or a lesson. And that was a lesson in disguise.
And a blessing probably also.
A lesson and a blessing.
Yeah.
Then we got together. The first month we got together, me and him got on the phones because I fired my team that I had before. It didn't work. And he fired his team because we put them together and it didn't work out. But then me and him stuck to the plan. And what we did is, bro, the first month we got together, September, we brought in $250,000. Me and him on the phones with like 4 deals.
Back to the roots.
Boom.
Yeah.
You understand?
Back to the foundation.
And yeah, because we're hustlers.
Yeah.
We're real hustlers. We're not these fake social media hustlers. We do this for real. And the thing is, like, when you know and you're confident that you do this for real, you're not looking for the clout. We don't want to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I want to be wealthy, for real.
Right.
And that's the difference. So then, when we both have this crazy background with so many wombs, right? That right now there's no time to play games. There's no time for joking around.
Yeah, you guys are young.
We're very selective of who we surround ourselves with, and those who want to be around us and be part of what we're doing, we welcome you. And that's it, But not everybody is gonna sit at our table.
Right.
I know that for sure, because we know the vision. We know where we're going. We know where we're going to be, and that we have a plan for 20 years. So right now we're just reverse engineering. But yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a ride, brother.
You mentioned God earlier. What role does God play in your life?
Number 1 is God. Number 2 is family. Number 3 is business. So God to me is essence. It's not a human. It's the highest form of intelligence in the universe, in the cosmos. I respect it. We must respect it because it's more powerful than what humans could even think.
Oh, yeah.
So must respect God as a superior form of intelligence, the creator. After that, everything follows. Family. I'm a father. I have a 4-year-old daughter, which I love. And actually, because of her, I figured out my why when she was born. In the middle of the pandemic. She was born in the middle of the pandemic. I remember that, being in the hospital, everybody with masks, and I had my little girl alive. So that right there, I was able to figure out why I gotta do this. So she's definitely my motivation.
That's beautiful.
Yes. So separated from the mother, didn't work out, but she's a very good mother, and we get along. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we co-parent.
How do you think that your upbringing shaped who you are today?
I would say I had a great father figure. My father. My father's a successful person. Started from the bottom. Came to the United States. My father was already a doctor. Came to the United States. When he came here in 1997, he started sweeping floors in Harlem. And then, he has a whole nother story. And then, he is where he is right now. But I always had a father figure. So I think as a male, it's important to have a father figure.
For sure.
Yeah, he was relentless. My father was relentless. Whatever we needed, he provided. Tough guy. But I thank him for it. So I already saw that my father he had a strong mind, winner mindset. He was a winner.
Yeah.
So I saw that. But then when you're young, my father and I used to clash too much. So I was the first one out of all my siblings to actually leave the house. Because I was like, I can do this myself. And then you get punched in the face and you realize, like, shit, he was right? So, and then you go through life and stuff like that. But yeah.
Right.
But yeah, my dad's it's a very successful plastic surgeon for dogs in New York.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How proud is he of you today?
I think he's very proud. That's my boy. Like right now, it's like my dad's like, that's my brother. You know what I mean? That's more than, like, you know what I mean? That's my boy.
Yeah.
Just like my mother. My mother lives in Orlando.
Okay.
So that's the beautiful part. When I moved out here, I had my mother here. And my mother has always been like an angel. You understand? The two most important females in my life.
Yeah.
My mother and my daughter. The
It's
Mrs. Right eventually is gonna come. I don't worry about that.
Are you looking? Do you want to get married?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe to build an empire, you must have the right partner. However, life has taught me I have to be a little bit more selective, right? And I don't rush it. You see, men have lost a lot of money chasing women.
A lot.
A lot of money.
A lot. I think we're all guilty.
But never lost women chasing money.
I think I agree with that up to a point.
Yes, I know why you say that.
I do think
and I can add to that.
Who are workaholics, who just chase the money, will end up losing some women.
Well, I can add to that because it creates a lot of questions. So
Right.
Money is not everything.
No, it's a tool.
It's a tool. Men make the money. The money doesn't make you.
100%.
That's
it
it.
amplifies you.
Yes, because there's other factors like
Right.
God, principles, core values,
Exactly.
and these other things. So you see, in that statement, it's a controversial statement. But
Very.
when you break it down, you see why I said what I said. But I completely
No, I
agree
completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So tell me, you began wholesaling, you became extremely successful, and then what did you do with that capital? I think you started a investment firm and a moving company also.
So
Talk about that a little bit.
So let me explain what I do. So I'm not focused on buying real estate right now because my focus is income. Make a lot of money fast.
Okay.
Right? And then diversify my portfolios. So I invest in stocks. I invest in cryptocurrencies. I'm a long-term player. So with cryptos, like altcoins and stuff I was buying cryptocurrencies, buying and holding. I just buy and hold. I don't sell. I don't day trade. The only thing I day trade is real estate.
Right.
Because I'm a real estate day trader. I'm in at wholesale, and I sell at wholesale.
How quick are your deals?
So depends, right? Depends because every single property, whether it's land, single family, multifamily, they all could have title issues.
Right.
Right. So depending, but my average deal size, if you want to talk, is about $25,000. My average assignment.
Right.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yes, but I've gone all the way up to $125,000 a deal.
Right.
So I've done several of those. But the smart thing we did is that people was like, hey, why aren't you buying real estate? Why aren't you holding real estate? I say, wait, I have a plan, right? Instead of me doing that, I reinvest back into the company, back into the people. That's the investment, because you got to focus on income.
Right.
Once we making a couple million consistently, and once the hustler dies and the CEO is born. So when the hustler dies, the CEO is born. Some people are just like, oh, I want to be a hustler. I want to be a hustler. Yeah, but you have no control of your time.
Right.
So you're not a CEO yet. You're not an investor yet, right? Because we value time. I just want to invest an hour a day in my business, and everything else is right. Because of my leadership skills, I was able to hand choose the individuals so that they can work together, so that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I can be in control of my time over a guy that's doing $2-3 million a month, more money than me, but also his overhead is crazy, or her overhead is crazy.
And they have no time.
And they have no time. They're a slave to the business.
Yeah.
They're a slave. It controls them. And I will never allow a business to control me, because then you're not successful, in my opinion. You're just a slave to the business.
Right.
And that's not good. And then to answer your question about investing, I just want to invest in commercial shopping centers and big multifamily plays. I'm not going for, let me buy a single family, then a duplex, then a triplex. I'm not going after that. Grant Cardone, I love Grant Cardone. So Grant Cardone says it himself. You don't need to start that way. You could go directly to the A++ assets.
Right.
You can get into the game. You already understand the business. Once you understand business, you can go into the big plays. But I want to stabilize the business to a certain point that I can completely say it's running on autopilot. Once we get there, then I start looking into the investments. We have the presidential election coming. We have many things happening, geopolitical events. They have so many things that are happening around the world.
Right.
And there's going to be blood in the streets. And when there's blood in the streets, that's when we buy. That's when we come in. We buy businesses for pennies on the dollar. That's why we got to be cash heavy. I don't want to be asset rich. Some people are like, yeah, I'm a multimillionaire. Yeah, but you're not liquid. I want to be asset rich, liquid rich. And that's my thing, because he who has the cash in a down market, or when there's blood in the streets, we buy everything.
Yeah.
Business is worth $500,000. You're desperate to sell it. Hey, I'll give you $100,000. Take it or leave it. All right, 120. Take it or leave it. Boom, now you own it. Then you put the same systems and processes in place.
Right.
You scale it.
You rehab it.
You value add it, yep. And then you sell it. Or you can package it in a portfolio and sell the whole thing for 100, 200 million, or $1 billion. You know what I mean? You can exit in 5 to 7 years.
Right.
So when people say how many properties you own, I don't need to own anything right now. I have a plan. My focus is income, being liquid and being cash heavy, so that I can buy and control the assets, control the businesses, grow the businesses, sell them off in big plays. That's what I'm. So that's we're also talking a little bit about my future plans.
In the beginning, was it a pressure for you to always have to go after the next deal, to always have to worry about the next deal?
Absolutely. At the beginning, I was doing 200 to 300 calls a day, till my fingers fall off. You understand? With a pregnant girlfriend living with me in Apopka, Florida, and and I had to make ends meet, struggling. So I had a baby on the way. And I had no choice. So, I got a list. I got a pre-foreclosure list. And then I got, there's something called driving for dollars. What that means is basically driving around specific areas and looking at distressed properties and just writing them down, then skip tracing them and cold calling them and pitching them and convincing them to sell you their property.
Yep.
Did that, boom, got my first deal, made $18,000.
Wow.
Second deal, 30, 40, 50, boom, boom, game was over. You understand? So it just made sense to me. So if it's working,
Keep doing it.
don't switch it. Keep doing it until you exhaust it. Once it stops working, switch. So that was a thing to me. So I did that, and I'm very grateful I did that.
Where do you think you developed or established or learned this discipline from? Is it your dad? Because you're very disciplined, right? To make 200-300 calls a day. I know people who tried wholesaling and they'd make 20 calls a day and bitch about it.
I would say my ambition to be successful and to be the best. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I want to make a print in this world, and I'm just starting. Like, I feel like I'm just starting. Like, I haven't started yet. That's the way I feel it and see it.
I'm going to push deeper. In your worst days, when you had no money and you're there calling, what kept you calling? What pushed you?
God.
There you go. Now we got to the root of it.
Yes. Faith in God.
It's very important.
And thoughts become things.
Oh, yes.
So I was already thinking and writing down. In my wallet, I had a little note, and I would write down that I was going to be a millionaire. It was already there, and I looked at it every now and then. And I had a vision board. But the vision boards it's like a scam unless you use it properly, right? You look at it, you believe it with conviction that you're going to achieve that.
Right.
No matter
it's
what.
It's already yours.
It's already yours. You already
Yeah.
see it on the other side.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
a time
yeah.
problem.
Correct.
So once basically, so the hard times were just, I knew God was testing me. So I was looked at, okay, God, no problem, God, and kept it to myself. Because I didn't yap my mouth about this. This is the first time I'm
Right.
ever sharing this.
Okay.
So I like your questions.
Exclusive.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone that's trying to get into wholesaling?
That's a great question. So you can go about it the way I did, which I do not recommend, which is I can do it myself. I can do it myself. You will, I'm a hustler, I can do it myself.
Yep.
Right? I did that. I went that way. I figured it out. YouTube University, right? Figured
YouTube
it out,
is
figured
so
it out, figured it out. But I learned a
powerful.
lot. But I figured it was such a waste of time. I didn't value time. So you can go that route, get punched in the face a few times until you learn, or you can find a mentor. Somebody that's already been there and done that and has the results that you want so that you can pay them and they can give you the blueprint of
It's
the
a
shortcut.
legit shortcut, exactly.
However, one of the biggest mistakes I see is that some people do find a mentor and they have the answers, they just don't do the work. And then they blame them. They start pointing fingers of why it didn't work.
That was my
didn't
point to
work.
how you're so disciplined. Because most people buy courses and don't do them. They just spend the money. It's incredible how many people out there are buying courses or going to seminars, going to events, and not doing what they're supposed to after.
It's just three things. They don't have a defined why.
Yeah.
They don't know who they are. So why, who? And I would say a what. What do you want out of this? Define the what, the why, and the who. Once you define those three things, you're on your way to success.
Yeah.
It's just a time problem again. It's a time problem.
It's the
Why do
Trinity.
you want to do this? Why does Leon want to do this? Because I have a daughter. and she's looking at me. And I feel like she's my judge.
Yeah.
And she's going to judge men, any man that comes across her as she starts growing and stuff like that. Like,
And you also have
you're
amazing...
treating me bad. You're trying to play with my feelings. Do you know who my dad is?
Right.
Like, oh, you're trying to impress me with money? Do you know who my dad is? You understand?
I do.
So that is my why. What? I want to build generational wealth for at least the next two generations, I would say. Because by the third one, if
They
there's
fuck it up.
if there's a fuck up in the family,
Yeah. They usually fuck up the third generation.
it damages it. But
Yeah.
at least 2 generations, right? And who do I do it for? I do it because I was born to do this. I was genetically modified to do this. It's in my genetics. I just can't help it. I gotta be successful. I will be successful. And I'm just starting.
Define that for me. What does success mean to you? Paint me a picture.
Wow, what a great question. To give you like an exact answer of
Paint
what
me a
it is
picture.
to be successful.
Yeah.
I think to me, being successful is the day I'm about to go away and die. Everybody that's important to me is next to me and is proud of me. The day I'm about to like shut down and they're around me, my family. It's for the family. Yeah, so I'm about to go out, boom, I got everybody that I've influenced that's important to me in my inner circle, because the inner circle started, but it's just gonna keep getting smaller.
For sure.
Right? Because I know the more successful I am, the less access you're gonna have to me.
100%.
For sure.
For
so
sure.
I know that, and to answer your question is, the day I die or about to die, I want those within my inner circle to be proud of me. That's, I guess, my definition of success, of true success. Because now you pass it on to the next generation. It's a genetic thing.
As an immigrant, what do you think of America and its current state?
First of all, I think America is the best country in the world. It's the most powerful country in the world. What happens is that politics has fucked it up, because we have some lizards controlling, let's call them lizards, alien lizards controlling, alien lizards elites controlling everything. And these globalists are evil, right? And let's just say that they have an agenda. They want a one world banking system, one world everything system.
What do you think makes them evil?
Power. They want more control, more for them, less for everybody else. However, since the creation of social media, they were exposed. And you just saw what happened with Donald Trump. They tried to assassinate him, right? And there's too many cameras everywhere. You can't get away like they did with JFK.
No, you can't.
Right. You know, CIA was behind it at the end of the day. We don't know what happened. Investigation's still going. But I believe America is still the strongest country in the world. I believe with what's happening right now, people have woken up. And this is the era of the truth. Everybody who was fake business guy, fake entrepreneur, fake social media guy.
Getting exposed.
You're getting exposed.
Left
You're
and
getting
right.
exposed. And all these guys are hiding. They're going to start hiding because their show is over. Their game is over. The real entrepreneurs, the real hustlers, the real hardworking people who really put in the work and didn't chase or sell their soul for cloud, those are the ones that are going to overcome anything that comes their way, and adapt, change, develop, and become successful.
Man, I love that answer. Do you think that America is on the brink of war or no?
Absolutely.
You do?
So I believe if the assassination did happen, which I believe the only reason it didn't, it was because of God, is he tilted his head. The next day we would have been in a civil war. You have all the Trump maniacs in the red states, Republican states. They're loaded.
Yeah.
You understand?
Well, for sure.
And these guys are not going to back down.
No, they're not.
So what happens? A civil war, right? So, as a matter of fact, I just started, Tribe Maga, which is, I just started, my first session. So I'm starting on Monday again, my second session. And we're learning, these guys, I'm learning from a master that trained, that, this is for the special forces in Israel.
Yep.
So I'm training. I'm also down 40 pounds. I was 40 pounds overweight.
Good for you.
In January 1st, I'm 40 pounds down. I was almost 200 pounds.
Wow.
So 196, I'm about 165.
Good for you.
Yeah, so this year was losing weight. Next year is getting in the best shape of my life. You understand? So that's the next thing. I realized. I avoided that for many years. But, I'm working on it.
Why'd you avoid it? Why do you think?
I just didn't prioritize it.
Okay.
That's all. I didn't prioritize it, and now I realize that fitness is so important. So important.
It's critical.
And, the healthier, I eat once a day, by the way. I eat once a day, and I fast most of the day. I will never come here with a full stomach.
Right. Same.
But there's a reason behind it. The reason I don't come with a full stomach is because I realized back in the days, you had to go and hunt for your food. And some days you go without eating because you didn't hunt.
Right.
So I felt like today we had to meet, and we met. And then after we finished work, because this is work to me,
Yep.
I have earned the right to eat. So now I have that delayed gratification mindset. I eat once I accomplish. I don't eat if I haven't accomplished anything. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It was Kellogg's slogan in
if you don't hunt, no food.
1960 something.
Yeah.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's bullshit. It's important, yeah. You can have breakfast, but just for me, I'd rather skip breakfast and have one meal a day, maybe two.
If you don't hunt, you don't eat. I like that.
Yeah, if you don't hunt, you don't eat. It's that simple.
I'm very curious to see what you think about AI and where that's going and how is that going to affect your business.
So we use ChatGPT. So we believe AI is going to make you or break you, right? I think it's going to put a lot of people out of business who don't adapt. So you have to adapt to the technology and add it, not be scared of it. You have to look at the good side of it. It can make your business better, faster, stronger.
For sure.
So yes, I like AI. I'm with the AI movement. I can't wait to implement more of it.
Do you think it's going to replace hiring a cold caller?
Yes. Yes, the learning process of AI is a lot faster. First, a cold caller, which is an opener or a qualifier,
Right.
is going to replace that. Eventually, within the year or two, it's probably going to replace closers.
Wow.
Yeah. But
That's
there's
big.
going to be regulation on that, because AI, you can do very good things or you can do very bad things.
Like
right?
anything else, right?
Like anything else, but the thing is that eventually it will outsmart the human. And if it outsmarts the human, what happens?
Terminator. And The Matrix.
iRobot.
iRobot.
Yeah, so those are all not the Hollywood. What it does is they make it seem like it's fiction, but it's actually a documentary.
Yeah.
of what's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about my daughter immediately because I'm like, she's going to live through this era.
In that world.
How do I prepare myself? Get rich or die trying. Become an investor.
Right.
Because with
Have access, right?
access.
Yeah.
Exactly. Become ultra high net worth. Then you can be around that circle and actually get more intel on what's really happening, who's really controlling things, and who's pulling the strings. And protect your family.
Right.
Yes.
If you could go back within your journey and change anything, what would it be, or would you leave it the same way?
It's a great question. I would hire a mentor as quickly as possible. If somebody has something you want, go and pay them whatever they ask for because they have the results that you want. That would be my answer. Seek a mentor.
It's a good one.
Actually, I'll give you my first mentor, which I didn't have to pay. My first mentor was actually Napoleon Barragan.
Okay.
So Napoleon Barragan is considered top 10 salespeople in history. He was the founder of 1-800-Mattress. So he was a good friend of mine. He's from Ecuador. He's older now. He actually made hundreds of millions.
Wow.
With 1-800-Mattress. He sold mattresses to the entire United States, I think Canada too.
It's amazing.
And we met in Jackson Heights, right? There's a big Ecuadorian community there.
Yeah,
we
huge.
met and I rolled with him for a little bit, and he showed me around. I remember one time he took me and he showed me a guy that was running a moving company, a logistics company, but he was running it like he was hiring stockbrokers. And they were basically running, charging a premium with moving from California to New York, big moves.
Wow.
Yeah, and he introduced me to the guy, and then he introduced me to another person. So he was introducing me to big players. And I was just fascinated. So shout out to Napoleon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pedro, where can people find you? Where can they learn more about you? What's your Instagram? What's your website, your coaching program?
So I do not have a coaching program. I've coached people privately one-on-one. And I prefer, in the future, I do have plans of creating a mastermind, right? And I want to be very selective of who joins my mastermind. Maybe we meet quarterly to talk about market updates, market changes, and understand the markets and understand where we're going.
Right.
People who have the same alignment as me, or same goals, similar goals, not same goals, but similar wants. Mm-hmm. And I will make a decision on that maybe towards the end of the year to creating a private mastermind. And I just don't want anyone. I want to be able to make sure that I can help them. Because to me, I would never charge somebody $25,000, $30,000 unless I knew that they had potential. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I don't want to be that guy that just charges people just to charge people. Like
just takes their money.
I wanna be able to say, okay, I have a superstar here. Since I have a talent to seeing talent before they see it in themselves. And I know how to identify it through gestures, movements, and neuro-linguistic programming.
Right.
I can understand it, and I can see it before they see it in themselves. I will choose that individual to join my mastermind. So I would make it very private, very exclusive, because I believe the true masterminds are small. Once they become too popular, it's too much noise.
Yeah, it gets too big.
Too much noise. And as far as how they can find me, Instagram for now, at Leonpreneur, LeonPreneur, Leonpreneur. You can catch me there, send me a DM, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or guide you the right way.
Great. Now I'm going to do 10 rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Just to learn a little bit more about you.
Sure.
and then we're going to close out with you giving us a tip. So, okay, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book is Outwitting the Devil.
I love that book. I've read that book like 10 times. Such a good book.
Powerful.
That one and 3 Feet from Gold.
Very good book.
Yeah. Favorite movie?
The Devil's Advocate.
That's a good one. With Keanu and Al Pacino.
Yes.
It's a very good one.
It's great. It's great lessons. There's a great lesson
Yes.
behind it, right? There's a great lesson behind it because, again, we said Outwitting the Devil, and then The Devil's Advocate.
Yep.
Not because I like the devil.
No,
it's
I get
because
it.
the devil has hidden knowledge. All you got to do is study it and understand it
Yes,
and learn what not to do so you don't live in the frequency of fear.
exactly.
You know how to avoid it. You know how to
Right.
dodge it.
You know what to look for, too.
Because we walk with God.
Yes, beautifully said. Favorite food?
Pasta.
Favorite car?
Rolls Royce.
Which one?
Ghost.
Favorite song?
Hungry for the Power by Jamie Jones.
Okay, I don't think I've heard that one.
It's techno house music.
Got it. Favorite place to visit?
I have a few places to visit. Favorite place to visit. I like the White Sand Buddha Temple.
Okay, where's that?
It's in I believe it's in Mims, Florida. Yeah, I go there often.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like. There's a lot of not. It's in there. You walk in there. You have the big Buddha, and I'm not a Buddhist, by the way, but you go in there and there's a lot of peace.
It's Zen.
And
yeah.
and you read the stones in their language. It's like it's a temple. It's a beautiful temple. You should go. And it's always quiet, and you have the monks there, and you have a bunch of positivity around. You have like
Yes.
definition of eternity,
High vibration.
positivity, health. Like you have all these things from the Buddhists that are like is like my happy place. I go there by myself.
That's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Favorite hobby?
Reading and researching.
Favorite sports team?
Sports team. I could not answer that because I do not follow sports.
I've been interviewing so many guys lately who do not follow sports. I find that so interesting.
So there is 2 sports I do watch,
Okay.
and that would be boxing
Okay.
and UFC,
Got it.
right? But I like UFC because I like Dana White. I like how
Same.
he thinks.
Yes.
I like how he moves. And boxing, I would say Mike Tyson is my favorite of all time.
Speaking of Tyson, are you going to see that fight tonight? It was supposed to be Tyson and Jake Paul.
Yeah, it's going to
Now
be
it's Jake Paul and somebody else. I forgot his name.
So, yeah, Jake Paul's probably going to win.
Probably.
Yeah, it's already planned.
All right. Last rapid fire question. Favorite drink? Could be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, whatever you want.
Sparkling water, Pellegrino.
My favorite too.
Add a little bit of lime in there.
Yes.
I drink it a lot.
That's
love
how you know you're
sparkling.
over 30.
That's it. That is my favorite drink.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pedro, if you can provide a tip or a nugget for a struggling entrepreneur that can't figure it out, is unaligned, is lost, confused, overthinking, what would you say to that person?
Be patient. Your time is coming. Don't give up.
I love that. Short and sweet.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. Be patient. Don't give up. Amazing. Pedro, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You have been extremely insightful. I love your drive. I love your energy. I love your discipline. And I know that you're going to be extremely successful because I don't see anybody stopping you. And I can't wait to see what you do next, bro. Seriously.
I highly appreciate you having me here, brother. I really do. Shout out to Brian Adamson, who introduced us.
Shout out to Brian Adamson. What a great guy. Brian's
Phenomenal
great.
guy.
Phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
He really is.
Good friend of mine.
Same. All right, Pedro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you guys. Like, follow, and subscribe. Make sure you follow Pedro on IG, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.